Welcome to Zoe Stories. Gym Teacher's Punishment. Now I'm the cheerleader doll. I had never felt smaller in my life. Standing in the empty gymnasium, the echo of my own heartbeat louder than the bouncing basketballs from practice hours ago, I realized how isolated I truly was. My name is Alex, 18, painfully shy, and the kind of guy who avoids attention at all costs. It had started as a minor mistake, being late to gym class, spilling water on the floor, not paying attention during practice. Nothing worth the humiliation I was about to face. But Mrs. Carter, our gym teacher, didn't see it that way. She was tall, commanding, her presence overwhelming. With her sharp eyes and soft but unwavering voice, she had a way of making you feel completely exposed. "Alex," she called, her tone calm but icy. "Come here. Now." I shuffled forward, my stomach knotting with dread. Every step on the polished gym floor sounded deafening, like the world itself was watching, judging. My peers were gone, thankfully, but that only made her scrutiny more intense. "You've been careless again," she said, arms crossed. "And careless boys need correction." I swallowed hard, a lump forming in my throat. "I am sorry, Mrs. Carter. I didn't mean—" She cut me off with a soft laugh, almost musical, but with a sharp edge that made my knees weak. "Sorry isn't enough, Alex. Not anymore." I felt my face flush, my pulse quicken. Something in her expression told me this was different. Not just a scolding. Not just a punishment. Something deeper, more personal. "You're going to learn a lesson," she continued, taking a few steps closer. Her heels clicked against the floor, each step making my chest tighten. "A lesson about attention, humility, and presentation." "Presentation," I whispered, confused. Her lips curved into a small, almost cruel smile. "Yes, Alex. You will learn to be delicate, to understand what it means to be observed, to be seen, and not just as yourself." I froze. My mind struggled to process her words. "I don't understand." She gestured toward a locker at the side of the gym. Inside were items I hadn't expected: a short pleated skirt, knee-high socks, a fitted cheerleading top in bright school colors. My stomach twisted violently. "You will wear this," she said, voice gentle but commanding. "And you will practice. You will learn. By the end of today, you will understand why attention isn't always a blessing and why it feels so intoxicating." I stepped back, eyes wide. What? "No, Mrs. Carter, please, this is humiliating." Her gaze softened, almost maternal. "Humiliation is part of learning, Alex. Part of becoming someone better, stronger, more aware. Now get changed." I wanted to run, to escape, to hide. But something in her tone, in the quiet power she held, rooted me to the spot. I found myself trembling as I opened the locker, my fingers brushing the soft fabric. Pleated, silky, impossibly feminine. I had never imagined myself like this, not in my wildest dreams. As I reluctantly changed, I felt the weight of each movement. The skirt hugged my hips in ways that made my stomach tighten. The socks slid over my legs, making every step feel exaggerated, delicate. The cheerleading top, tight and bright, pressed against my chest. I caught a glimpse of myself in the small mirror attached to the locker. Wide eyes, flushed cheeks, trembling hands. I barely recognized the person staring back. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, adjusting a stray curl of my hair. "There," she said softly. "Now look at yourself. Really look." I stared, swallowing hard. The reflection was not Jamie. Not the boy I had been. A girl, soft, vulnerable, exposed, stared back at me. And despite every instinct screaming to run, to escape, I felt a strange, confusing pull. "Now," she said, her voice low and commanding, "we practice. Walking, speaking, smiling, being seen." I took a tentative step forward, feeling the skirt sway, the socks tighten around my calves. Each movement felt foreign, every glance at the reflection in the locker mirror a shock to my system. "Good," she murmured. "Again. And remember, Alex, every step teaches you something. About attention. about desire, about control. I shivered. My mind spun. Fear, shame, and an unbidden thrill collided inside me. I wanted to resist. I wanted to scream. But deep down, I felt mesmerized. Trapped. And disturbingly, drawn to the lessons she was forcing upon me. As the afternoon sunlight streamed through the gym windows, casting a golden glow over my trembling form, I realized something terrifying and exhilarating. This was only the beginning. The gym was quiet now, the echoes of bouncing balls and laughter long gone. Only the faint hum of the fluorescent lights above filled the space, but to me, every sound was magnified. Each squeak of my shoes against the polished floor, each whisper of fabric as I adjusted the skirt, felt like a spotlight on my trembling body. Mrs. Carter stood beside me, clipboard in hand, eyes sharp yet calculating. She didn't speak at first, letting me fumble and adjust to the new reality of heels, skirt, and chest pressed tightly against the cheerleading top. I could feel the weight of her gaze, the way it pinned me, made me aware of every inch of myself. "Alex," she said finally, her voice soft but firm, "you're going to learn how to walk first. Heels aren't just shoes. They are control, elegance, and grace. If you stumble, you fail. If you hesitate, you fail. Understand?" I nodded, swallowing hard. My mouth was dry, my heart hammering. Hesitation felt instinctual, but I forced myself to lift one foot, then the other, slowly, awkwardly, like a newborn foal trying to find balance. The skirt swayed with every step, the top pressed tightly against my chest, and the lace stockings felt impossibly delicate against my skin. "Good, now again," she instructed. Her eyes followed me, noting every wobble, every flicker of hesitation. "Confidence, Alex. You are being watched. You are being judged. And you need to embrace that, or you will falter." I took another step, chest tightening as the reflection of myself in the mirrored wall caught my attention. The girl staring back, delicate, vulnerable, and undeniably feminine, was almost too much to bear. My lips parted slightly, and I caught a faint blush rising along my cheeks. Jamie, the boy I had been, felt more distant with each step, fading into a shadow. Mrs. Carter's hand lightly adjusted my hair. "Good. Now smile. Don't just walk, perform. Be seen. Feel what it's like to be observed, admired, envied. That is part of your lesson." I tried to force a smile, but it felt foreign, awkward, and humiliating. Each attempt only seemed to deepen the knot in my stomach. I was painfully aware of every movement, every sway of my hips, every tightness of my chest, every glance at the reflection that seemed to mock my inadequacy. "You're doing well," she said, a soft note of praise in her voice, "but not well enough. Again. And this time, think about how the world sees you. Think about how it would feel if everyone admired you and how small, vulnerable, and delicate you feel under that gaze." The words sent a shiver down my spine. Vulnerable, delicate, admired. The paradox was overwhelming. I stumbled slightly on the heels, feeling my cheeks burn hotter. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, guiding me gently by the elbow. "Good," she murmured. "You are learning. But remember, control is key. Let your body feel what it is like to be observed. Every glance, every whisper, every touch, it's all part of the lesson." We spent hours that afternoon repeating the same motions, walking, posing, adjusting, smiling. Each repetition was physically exhausting, emotionally draining, and psychologically intense. My legs ached, my chest burned, and my mind whirled with conflicting emotions. Fear, shame, embarrassment, but also something else. A strange, intoxicating thrill I didn't understand. By the time we paused, I was trembling from exhaustion, cheeks flushed, eyes wide. Mrs. Carter observed me silently for a long moment, then smiled softly. "You're beginning to understand," she said. "But tomorrow we push further. Makeup, hair, and learning how to speak, move, and breathe like her. Every privilege of being a boy you will begin to lose. And every skill of being a girl you will begin to acquire." I shivered. both terrified and curiously drawn to the prospect. The mirror reflected a girl I barely recognized, vulnerable, delicate, trembling, but undeniably real. And deep down, I knew this was only the beginning. The next morning, I felt a mixture of dread and exhaustion. My muscles ached from hours on heels. My cheeks still burned from the embarrassment of yesterday. Yet as I stared at the reflection in the locker mirror, I realized something terrifying. Jamie, the boy I had once been, was fading. The girl Mrs. Carter was shaping me into was more visible than ever, delicate, trembling, and undeniably alive. "Today," Mrs. Carter said, her voice calm yet sharp, "we make her beautiful. You will learn to paint yourself, to control your features, to command attention without words. Every brush, every shadow, every line, it matters." She laid out the makeup meticulously. Foundation, blush, eyeshadow, mascara, eyeliner, and lipstick. Each piece seemed alien in my trembling hands. My fingers brushed over the soft brushes, and I felt a strange shiver of anticipation and humiliation. "Start," she commanded, stepping back to observe. I applied the foundation first, the cool cream spreading over my skin. Every motion felt awkward, unnatural, and invasive. My reflection stared back at me, a girl emerging from the shadow of Jamie, her features being manipulated, perfected, and displayed. Blush came next. My cheeks flared pink instantly, and I felt an almost painful awareness of how exposed I was. Mrs. Carter's eyes never left me. "Good.
Feel the warmth of it, Alex.
Let her emerge. The world will see her first, then you." I moved on to eyeshadow, then mascara. Every brush stroke magnified the tension inside me. I could feel my body reacting, heart racing, hands trembling, chest tightening. I wanted to stop, to wipe it all away, but her presence anchored me, demanding obedience. Finally, the lipstick. Soft pink, delicate, almost unbearably feminine. I pressed my lips together, feeling the foreign texture, the strange shift of identity. The girl in the mirror now looked fully real. Vulnerable, delicate, and undeniably feminine. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, adjusting a stray curl.
"Now speak."
"Your voice must match her. Soft, gentle, melodic. Every word a reflection of her, not Jamie. Understand?" I nodded, swallowing hard. My voice caught as I tried to say a simple sentence. "Hello, Mrs. Carter." She raised an eyebrow, almost smiling. Again. Louder.
"Softer."
Gentle. Flowing. Hours passed as I repeated phrases, practiced tones, and modulated my pitch. Every word felt like a test, every misstep a failure. My cheeks burned, throat tightened, and eyes watered from frustration and exertion. Yet with each repetition, a strange thrill coiled inside me. I was transforming, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. When Mrs. Carter finally declared me ready, she led me outside the gym for my first public glance. Even a short walk to the street felt monumental. Every passerby's eyes lingered. Every whisper reached me. My heart pounded. My legs trembled. But despite the embarrassment, despite the fear, I felt an undeniable surge of pride, thrill, recognition. "She's beautiful," someone whispered as we passed. My cheeks flamed. The girl in the mirror now walked alongside me, soft curls bouncing, lips perfectly pink, voice melodic and soft. Jamie felt like a distant echo, barely audible, fading further with every compliment, every glance, every whisper. Mrs. Carter's hand rested lightly on my back. "Notice the attention," she murmured. "It belongs to her now. Accept it. Revel in it. Every step, every glance, she is hers." We paused at a small cafe, where the barista's eyes widened as I approached. "You're beautiful," she said softly. I forced a smile, voice trembling. "Thank you." The walk back to the gym was quieter, but my mind was buzzing. Makeup, voice, posture, attention, every lesson was a step further from Jamie, every moment a deeper dive into the girl Mrs. Carter was shaping. The gym smelled of sweat, polished wood, and faint perfume, a scent that now seemed to define the place I had once felt at ease. Today was different. Today, I would step fully into the role Mrs. Carter had designed for me, not just a girl in appearance, but a cheerleader in presence, movement, and visibility. I stared at the mirror, taking in the soft curls bouncing around my flushed face, the pleated skirt swaying lightly with every small movement, the fitted top pressing tightly against my chest. My legs, clad in knee-high socks, felt delicate and exposed. Heels clicked against the floor as I shifted, each step making me painfully aware of my new body. "Alex," Mrs. Carter said, her voice calm but sharp, "today you will practice with the team. Every step, every jump, every motion will be observed. Every misstep will be noticed. And you will not falter." I swallowed hard. My heart raced. Panic and excitement coiled inside me like a storm. I'm not sure I can." She cut me off with a soft laugh, almost musical, yet with a sharp edge. "You can. You will. Every eye will be on her, not Jamie. You will learn what it is like to be admired, envied, and completely observed. Are you ready?" I nodded, though trembling. The other cheerleaders entered the gym, unaware at first, until their eyes fell on me. A hush swept over the room. Whispers flickered like sparks. "Is that Alex?" one of them murmured. "Wow, she looks incredible," another whispered. I froze, cheeks flaming. The girl in the mirror now walked alongside me, every sway of the skirt, every delicate step, a silent scream of humiliation and exhilaration. My voice caught as Mrs. Carter instructed. "Introduce yourself. Speak like her. Own the attention." "Hello," I managed, voice soft but melodic. I'm the new member." The whispers intensified. Compliments mingled with surprised gasps. My face burned hotter. Every glance, every reaction, every murmur pressed against my chest like a physical weight. I stumbled slightly in my heels, the floor suddenly feeling impossibly far beneath me. Mrs. Carter's hand rested lightly on my back, steadying, controlling, reminding me of her dominance.
Good.
"Now we start practice. Follow my instructions. Every movement counts. And remember, she is hers now." The routine began. Jumping, twirling, moving in perfect sync, I felt my body protest. Heels were unforgiving. The skirt swayed awkwardly. The top clung tightly, restricting my chest movements. And yet, every movement drew eyes. Every cheer, every motion, every pose highlighted my transformation. A teammate whispered as we formed a line. "She's unreal. So pretty. How is she?"
Alex.
I wanted to disappear, to sink into the floor. My legs shook. My cheeks burned. And yet, amidst the humiliation, a strange thrill surged. Every glance, every word, every whispered compliment reminded me Jamie was fading. The girl in the mirror was emerging fully. Hours passed. Jump after jump, turn after turn, I learned to control my body, balance my weight, smile gracefully, and speak in melodic tones between cheers. Each repetition was exhausting physically, emotionally, and psychologically. My limbs ached, my chest burned, my mind reeled with confusion and excitement. By the end of practice, I was trembling, flushed, and almost dazed. Mrs. Carter observed me, a soft smile on her lips. "You've done well today," she said. "But tomorrow we take it further. Public performance, recognition, attention on the largest stage. And every privilege of being Jamie, you will feel slipping away. Every glance, every whisper, every cheer, she will own it completely." I collapsed on a bench, trembling, cheeks still flaming. The mirror reflected a girl, delicate, trembling, beautiful, and undeniably alive. Jamie, the boy, felt more like a shadow, fading with every movement, every glance, every cheer. The gymnasium was packed. The fluorescent lights glared down on the polished floor, bouncing off the bleachers filled with students, teachers, and parents. My chest tightened as I stood backstage, peeking through the curtains. Every cheer, Every shout, every whistle from earlier practice seemed like a prelude to this moment. Today, I would perform in front of everyone, completely visible, completely exposed. Mrs. Carter approached, clipboard in hand, her eyes assessing me like a sculptor examining a newly formed piece. "Alex," she said softly, though with authority, "this is it. Every movement, every smile, every step must be perfect.
You are hers now.
Remember that." My legs trembled beneath the cheerleading outfit, pleated skirt swaying with every motion, top tight against my chest, heels amplifying every step. I wanted to run, to hide, to vanish into the shadows behind the curtain, but her presence rooted me. I was trapped, yet also strangely drawn to her control. The announcer called our team to the center of the gym. I took a deep breath, whispering to myself,
She is hers now.
"Jamie is gone." The crowd erupted in applause as we stepped onto the floor. My heart pounded so loudly, I thought it might betray me. Every eye in the gym seemed fixed on me. Whispers began almost immediately. "Is that Alex? She looks unreal. Wow, she's beautiful." My cheeks burned hotter than the gym lights above. Every compliment, every glance, every whisper was a dagger and a thrill at the same time. Jamie, the shy boy, was gone, or at least hidden beneath the delicate curves, the soft curls, the pink blush, and the melodic voice I had spent hours perfecting. Mrs. Carter stood at the sidelines, clipboard in hand, eyes sharp. "Focus. Own her. Every cheer, every movement, every pose is a lesson." The routine began. Jumping, twirling, synchronizing with the team, it was physically exhausting. Heels made every motion precarious. The skirt swayed provocatively with every jump, and the top clung uncomfortably against my chest. My arms shook from the tension of holding pom-poms, trying to smile, trying to perform. I felt the weight of every eye on me. Peers, teachers, parents, even strangers I had never seen before. Each whisper, each comment, each gasp of admiration pressed against my chest like a physical force. I stumbled slightly during a turn, and gasps rippled through the crowd. My cheeks burned crimson. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, her hand lightly on my back, as if to anchor me. "Good. Again. Remember, every slip, every glance, every sound belongs to her now.
Not Jamie.
She is hers." By the end of the routine, my legs ached, my chest burned, and tears threatened behind my eyes. I had survived. The crowd erupted into applause, whistles, and cheers. Compliments flew. "She's stunning. So graceful. Absolutely perfect." And somewhere, deep inside, a strange thrill coursed through me. The humiliation, the attention, the exposure. All of it was intoxicating. Jamie was disappearing faster, replaced by her, the delicate, feminine cheerleader the world now saw. Backstage, alone for a moment, I collapsed against a bench. My reflection in the small mirror caught my eye. Trembling, flushed, messy hair, wide eyes. It was undeniably me. And yet not me. Mrs. Carter approached quietly, her hand resting lightly on my arm. "Do you understand now?" she asked softly. "The lesson isn't just movement or grace. It's control, observation, and surrender. You are hers now, Alex. And the world recognizes it." I wanted to protest, to scream, to reclaim some piece of Jamie, but every word, every glance, every breath reminded me. She was emerging fully. Every step, every cheer, every glance from the audience had erased Jamie a little more. The day after my first public performance, the gym felt different. I walked in, heels clicking against the polished floor, skirts swaying lightly, top pressing tightly against my chest. The other cheerleaders were there, chatting, stretching, and adjusting their uniforms. Their eyes flicked toward me the moment I entered, curious, admiring, and somehow welcoming. "Alex, you were amazing yesterday," one of the girls, Mia, said brightly, her eyes sparkling. "You moved so gracefully. Honestly, I didn't think you could pull it off, but wow." My cheeks burned. I mumbled a soft, Teach, thank you. Voice trembling slightly. Their compliments, genuine though they were, felt like both a reward and a reminder of my exposure. I was no longer Jamie. The girl they saw, and the girl I was beginning to feel in my bones, was emerging fully. Mrs. Carter appeared from the side, clipboard in hand, observing silently before approaching me.
See?
They accept her. The world accepts her. And she is yours to control. Her hand brushed lightly over my shoulder. The touch was brief, but it sent shivers down my spine, a mixture of fear, shame, and something else I didn't want to name. The practice began. Every movement, every jump, every smile was scrutinized, measured, and corrected. Mrs. Carter leaned in close whenever I faltered, whispering instructions that were equal parts sweetness and sharp command. Don't just lift your legs, float them. Don't just smile, captivate. Every glance is a weapon, every pose a spell. I felt trapped beneath her gaze, yet strangely addicted to the guidance. Her control was absolute, precise, and intoxicating. Every correction, every touch, every whispered word reinforced her dominance and my gradual submission. During a water break, a couple of the girls came closer, curiosity in their eyes. Seriously, you look so pretty, Mia said softly. Not just the outfit, like the whole vibe. It's mesmerizing. I flushed, fiddling nervously with the hem of my skirt. I teach, thank you, I murmured, voice melodic but unsure. Compliments from my peers were intoxicating, yet deeply humiliating. Every word reminded me how far I had strayed from Jamie, how visible and delicate I had become. Mrs. Carter approached, observing my interaction closely. Notice how they respond, she said softly, almost teasing. They see her. They respect her. And she is under your guidance. Every glance, every word, every touch, you can control it. Or resist it. But resisting is exhausting, isn't it? I swallowed hard. Exhaustion, embarrassment, and a strange thrill collided within me. My legs ached, my chest burned, and yet I couldn't deny the pull of her control. Every movement, every glance, every whispered compliment reinforced my transformation. Jamie felt like a distant shadow, fading as the girl in the mirror grew more vivid, more alive. Practice continued, hours stretching into a haze of jumps, twirls, cheers, and careful observation. My body moved almost automatically now, heels balancing my steps, skirts swaying gracefully, arms lifted with practiced elegance. Each movement was a lesson, each cheer a reinforcement of her control. By the end of the session, I was trembling, flushed, and utterly exhausted. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, clipboard lowered, eyes gleaming with satisfaction. You've done remarkably well, she said softly. But remember, Alex, this is only the beginning. Every day, she grows stronger, more beautiful, more hers. And every step, every glance, every word brings Jamie closer to fading entirely. I collapsed onto a bench, staring into the mirror. The reflection was clear, delicate, feminine, and undeniably hers. My lips trembled, my eyes welled with emotion. Jamie, the shy, awkward boy, felt further away than ever, almost as if he had never existed. It was another bright morning at school, the air buzzing with chatter and laughter. I walked down the hall, heels clicking against the linoleum, pleated skirt swaying with every step. My hair bounced softly around my shoulders, curls perfectly set from hours of practice and Mrs. Carter's careful guidance. Every eye that flicked toward me made my stomach twist, some in admiration, some in surprise, but all reminding me that Jamie was slipping further into the past. As I approached the gym for practice, a new element entered my reality. Blake. He was one of the senior boys, tall, confident, and effortlessly charming. Our paths had crossed before. He had always seemed friendly but distant, but today, the way his eyes lingered on me made my heart hammer in ways I hadn't expected. You look amazing, he said softly, cheeks tinged with color. I mean, wow. My lips parted, voice trembling. Teach, thank you. The words felt foreign, melodic, delicate. Blake's gaze lingered longer than comfortable, and my chest tightened. Not just from embarrassment, but from something unfamiliar, a flutter deep inside that I didn't know how to name. Mrs. Carter appeared beside me, clipboard in hand, watching the interaction with a small, satisfied smile. "Notice him," she murmured softly. "Every glance, every reaction, she draws attention naturally. It's intoxicating, isn't it?" I shivered, unsure how to respond. Yes, it was intoxicating. Yes, it was thrilling. And yes, terrifying. Every compliment, every lingering gaze, every whispered word was a reminder of how far I had drifted from Jamie. Practice began, and Blake lingered on the sidelines, eyes following my every movement. Every cheer, every jump, every sway of my skirt seemed amplified under his gaze. I stumbled once during a twirl, cheeks burning crimson, but when I caught his small smile, a strange warmth spread through me. Mrs. Carter leaned close, whispering into my ear, "Notice the effect she has on him. That flutter, that tension, that attention, it all belongs to her. Jamie no longer exists in the spotlight.
She does.
And soon, he may not exist at all in your mind." The words sent shivers down my spine. I tried to focus on practice, on balancing my steps, on perfecting my smile, but every glance at Blake, every compliment, every small reaction was like a magnet, pulling me further into her, into this delicate, feminine identity. After practice, we walked together to the locker room. Blake's compliments continued, gentle and teasing, making my cheeks burn hotter. "You're really beautiful," he murmured, almost shyly. I didn't expect, wow. I looked down, voice trembling. "Thank you. My words faltered, heart hammering. The mirror reflected her, the girl I had become, soft curls framing a delicate, flushed face, wide eyes, trembling lips. Jamie felt like a fading echo, distant, barely audible beneath the layers of feminine grace. Mrs. Carter appeared behind me, smiling faintly. "Notice how the world responds," she said. "Every word, every glance, every whisper reinforces her presence. And every heartbeat, every reaction, every tremor reinforces her control over you. Do you feel it?" I swallowed hard. Yes, I felt it. The humiliation, the attention, the thrill, the subtle seduction of control. It was intoxicating. I wanted to resist, to reclaim Jamie, but the pull was too strong. Every compliment, every glance, every fluttering gaze made her stronger and Jamie weaker. That night, alone in my room, I stared into the mirror. The reflection was unmistakably her, delicate, feminine, trembling, beautiful. And deep inside, I realized I was drawn to her, addicted to the attention, the control, the transformation. Jamie was fading. And the more I resisted, the stronger she became. The following week, my life became a whirlwind of attention, scrutiny, and training. Mrs. Carter had decided it was time for me to fully immerse myself in the world I was being molded into. The cheerleading squad wasn't just practice anymore, it was a stage, a social test, and a battlefield of appearances. The first challenge came in the form of a routine demonstration during lunch in the school courtyard. Students were everywhere, sitting in groups, whispering, taking out phones. I felt my heart hammer in my chest as Mrs. Carter handed me my pom-poms. "Remember," she said, voice soft but commanding, "she belongs to the world now. Every glance, every whisper, every judgment she will endure. And she will shine." I swallowed hard, heels clicking against the concrete as I stepped into the center. My skirt swayed delicately, curls bouncing, chest tight and noticeable. A hush fell over the crowd as whispers spread like wildfire. "Is that
Alex?"
"Whoa, she's unreal. She's gorgeous. I can't believe it." The words stung and thrilled simultaneously. Jamie wanted to sink into the floor, to hide, but the girl in the mirror stood taller, adjusting her skirt, balancing on heels, performing every cheer with precision. Every movement, every turn, every jump was a lesson in control, grace, and exposure. Mrs. Carter's eyes followed me, calm yet predatory. Notice how they respond, she murmured. Every reaction is yours to command, Alex. She controls this room, and you control her. Or you try, at least. After the demonstration, whispers continued. Phones clicked, some students nudged others, all eyes still on me. My face burned, chest tightened, and legs ached. And yet, amidst the humiliation, a strange pride stirred. I was being seen, admired, feared even for my transformation. The next test came during after-school practice, a series of challenges designed to push me further into feminine performance. Heels walking races, delicate hand movements while balancing objects, smiling exercises where I had to maintain composure under direct scrutiny from peers and Mrs. Carter. Every task was humiliating, exhausting, and psychologically intense. During one challenge, Mia whispered softly, "I don't know how you do it. You're so graceful, so feminine. It's like magic." I flushed violently, fumbling slightly with the small vase I had to balance on my palm. Thank you. My voice trembled, melodic yet foreign. Every compliment, every gaze, every whisper was a reminder of how far I had come and how far I had drifted from Jamie. By the end of practice, I was trembling, flushed, and utterly drained. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, clipboard in hand, eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "Remarkable progress," she said. "But remember, Alex, this is only the beginning. Every day, every glance, every whisper, every challenge brings Jamie closer to fading completely. She is hers, and she is powerful." That night, alone in my room, I stared at the mirror. The reflection was unmistakably hers, delicate, feminine, trembling, and undeniably alive. My heart raced as I whispered, "Jamie is fading, and the world sees her. But can I survive this spotlight without losing myself completely?" The afternoon sun streamed through the gymnasium windows, catching the soft curls that framed my face and the delicate sway of my skirt. Today, practice felt heavier. Not because of the routines, not because of the heels, but because Blake would be there. My heart thudded in my chest at the thought, a mixture of anticipation, fear, and something unfamiliar, something dangerously close to desire. As I entered the gym, Blake was leaning casually against the wall, watching silently as other students stretched. The moment our eyes met, I felt my knees weaken slightly. His smile was gentle, teasing, and it sent a shiver through me I couldn't quite explain. "Hey," he said softly as I approached. You were incredible yesterday." "Really?" I blushed, voice trembling. "Thank you. I practiced a lot." He laughed lightly, leaning closer, eyes flicking briefly to the curve of my cheeks, the softness of my lips, the gentle sway of my skirt. "It shows. You move like it's natural."
Wow.
My chest tightened. The girl in the mirror smiled softly at me, but deep inside, Jamie wanted to run, to hide, to reclaim some piece of identity I feared I was losing. But the thrill of his gaze, the warmth in his voice, the undeniable attention, it was intoxicating. Mrs. Carter appeared from the sidelines, clipboard in hand, observing quietly. "Notice him," she whispered, her voice low and predatory. "Every glance, every word, every smile reinforces her power, her presence. And every flutter in your chest reminds you that Jamie is fading. Completely. Do you feel it?" I shivered, unable to respond.
Yes.
I felt it. Every compliment, every lingering glance, every subtle touch of his hand as he adjusted my pom-poms made me forget Jamie just a little more. Practice began, and every movement was amplified by his presence. Each jump, each cheer, each twirl felt scrutinized, admired, and somehow intimate. I stumbled slightly on a heel, cheeks burning crimson, and Blake's hand brushed mine as he steadied me. My breath hitched. "Careful," he murmured softly, voice low. "You're perfect like this, don't ruin it." The words hit me harder than I expected.
Perfect.
Her. Not Jamie. The girl in the mirror smiled, heart racing, but the boy inside me twisted with confusion, humiliation, and something dangerously like excitement. After practice, Blake lingered, offering small compliments, teasing remarks, and gentle touches. Each interaction was intoxicating, humiliating, and deeply confusing. I wanted to resist, to reclaim Jamie, but every glance, every word, every heartbeat reinforced her, made Jamie seem smaller, weaker, fading further with every passing moment. Mrs. Carter watched quietly, a satisfied smile curling on her lips. "Do you understand now?" she asked softly as we left the gym. "Every flutter, every blush, every reaction, she owns it. And so do I. Jamie is fading, Alex. Completely. And the world is helping her vanish." That night, alone in my room, I stared into the mirror. The reflection was unmistakably hers, delicate, feminine, flushed, and trembling. Blake's smile, his attention, his admiration echoed in my mind. And deep inside, I realized Jamie was disappearing, replaced by her. The evening air was thick with chatter and anticipation. The school was hosting a charity social event, and Mrs. Carter had made it clear I would attend, not as Jamie, not as a shy boy, but as her. The outfit she had chosen was delicate and feminine, a pastel dress hugging my curves, heels clicking against the polished floor, and soft curls framing my flushed face. Every detail had been meticulously planned to accentuate her control over me, to draw attention, and to test my ability to exist fully in this feminine identity. As we arrived, students and parents alike turned to look. Whispers spread instantly. "Is that Alex? She looks amazing. Wow, so graceful." My heart pounded. Every glance, every whisper, every pointing finger pressed against me like a physical weight. I tried to keep my posture straight, my smile delicate, my voice soft and melodic, but the girl in the mirror felt heavier than ever. Jamie was a shadow, fading with every second. Mrs. Carter leaned close, her breath warm against my ear. "Notice them," she whispered. "Every glance, every comment, every stare, she commands it all. And every beat of your heart is hers to control." The first test of the evening came almost immediately. A group of my peers approached, curious, teasing, admiring. "Wow, you're like completely different," one of them said. "So pretty, unreal." I flushed violently, voice barely a whisper. Thank you." The words felt alien on my lips, melodic yet humiliating. Every compliment, every glance, every lingering stare reinforced my transformation, making Jamie feel smaller, weaker, more distant. Mrs. Carter observed quietly, a faint smile curling her lips. "She belongs to the world now," she murmured softly. "And you are powerless. Every glance, every reaction is hers. And every step, every flutter, every blush is your lesson." The evening continued with challenges, small dance performances, mingling with adults, handling attention with poise. Every step was scrutinized, every smile measured, every gesture observed. My heels became instruments of grace and vulnerability. My skirt swayed provocatively with each movement. My voice carried softly, delicate, and melodic. And through it all, Mrs. Carter's presence was constant, controlling, intoxicating. During a brief pause, Blake approached, his eyes lingering on me. "You're incredible," he murmured. "I've never seen anyone move like this like you do." My cheeks burned crimson. Every compliment was a dagger and a thrill. Jamie inside me protested, but the girl in the mirror responded instinctively, smiling delicately, balancing every movement, and accepting the attention. Mrs. Carter's hand brushed my back lightly as she guided me through the next activity. "See how she responds," she whispered. "Every heartbeat, every tremor belongs to her. And every ounce of power you resist only strengthens her." By the end of the night, I was exhausted, trembling, and flushed. The reflection in the mirror at home afterward was undeniable. Delicate curls, flushed cheeks, soft lips, wide eyes. Jamie was fading fast, replaced by her, confident, feminine, and completely observed by the world. It was a bright Saturday morning, and Mrs. Carter had decided that it was time for me to attend the local mall, a public test of poise, appearance, and control. The outfit she chose was a delicate combination of a pastel blouse, a short pleated skirt, and soft, high-heeled sandals. My hair framed my face in perfect curls, lips painted lightly with gloss, and cheeks flushed from hours of practice. As we entered the bustling mall, the first whispers began immediately. People glanced, whispered, and stared. Every eye felt like a judgment, every glance a reminder of how far Jamie had drifted. I kept my head high, shoulders back, heels clicking gracefully on the tile, but my chest tightened with every look. Then it happened. I turned a corner and froze. A familiar voice, one I hadn't expected to hear, called out, "Alex? Is that you?" My heart leapt into my throat. I turned slowly and came face to face with Jordan, my childhood friend. The same friend who had known me before any of this transformation began. His eyes widened in shock, a mixture of recognition, confusion, and disbelief. "Yes, hi," I whispered, voice soft, melodic, and trembling. Hi." Mrs. Carter's hand rested lightly on my back, steadying me. Her eyes glinted with satisfaction. "Notice him," she whispered. "Every heartbeat, every stammer, every blush, she owns it." And Jamie fades further. Jordan stepped closer, eyes scanning me from head to toe. I don't understand. Alex, what happened? You look so different, beautiful." I felt my chest tighten, cheeks flushing hot. Words failed me. Jamie's voice wanted to return, to explain, to reclaim a shred of identity, but the girl in the mirror responded instead, soft, melodic, delicate, feminine. Jordan's eyes softened. "You're incredible," he said quietly. "But is this you? Are you okay?" Mrs. Carter's grip on my arm tightened just enough to remind me of her control. "She is fine," she said smoothly.
She is hers now.
And every reaction, every heartbeat is part of her lesson. My mind raced. Jamie wanted to scream, to explain, to run, to be himself again, but every glance, every whisper, every flutter in my chest reminded me she was emerging fully. Every compliment, every stare, every reaction from Jordan made the transformation undeniable. As we walked through the mall, whispers and glances followed. People admired, gawked, and pointed subtly. Each movement, each step, each sway of the skirt was a test. Every time Jordan's eyes met mine, my heart hammered. The mixture of recognition, admiration, and confusion made me tremble, shivering with embarrassment and thrill. By the end of the outing, my legs ached, heels pinching, and chest tight. Alone in the restroom, I stared into the mirror. The reflection staring back at me was unmistakably her, delicate, feminine, beautiful, trembling. Jamie felt like a fading shadow, weaker and more distant with every glance, every word, every heartbeat. Mrs. Carter's voice echoed in my mind. "Notice how the world responds. Notice how he reacts. Jamie is gone, Alex. And she is powerful." The following week, Mrs. Carter announced a special session after school. I didn't know what to expect, but the tension in her tone was unmistakable. The outfit she selected that day was even more delicate than before. A soft, flowing dress that hugged my curves, high heels that accentuated every step, and my hair styled into perfect, cascading curls. She had spent hours perfecting my appearance, ensuring that every detail emphasized my femininity. As we arrived at the empty gym, my heart pounded. The polished floor reflected the overhead lights, my own reflection shimmering faintly as I stepped forward. Every step on the heels was precarious, deliberate, and a reminder that I was under her control. "Today," Mrs. Carter said, her voice low and commanding, "we will explore how completely she belongs, to me, to the world, and to herself. Every glance, every flutter, every blush must be noticed and perfected." Before I could respond, Blake appeared, leaning casually against the wall, eyes fixed on me. His presence made my chest tighten, my cheeks burn, and my legs tremble ever so slightly. You look amazing," he whispered, voice soft, tinged with awe. I swallowed hard, voice trembling. Thank you." The words felt foreign, melodic, delicate. The thrill of his attention mixed dangerously with humiliation and fear. Jamie's voice wanted to protest, to reclaim control, but the girl in the mirror moved instinctively, smiling softly, adjusting her dress, balancing on heels. Mrs. Carter's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. "Notice him," she whispered. "Every reaction, every heartbeat, reinforces her power. And every flutter in your chest reminds you that Jamie is fading. Completely." The first exercise involved walking across the gym floor while Blake and Mrs. Carter observed closely. Every sway of my skirt, every delicate movement of my arms, every tilt of my head was analyzed. I stumbled slightly, cheeks flushing crimson, and Blake's hand brushed mine as he offered silent support. My breath hitched, heart hammering. "Careful," he murmured softly. "You're perfect like this, don't ruin it." The words hit me harder than I expected.
Perfect. Hers.
Not Jamie. The girl in the mirror responded instinctively, smiling, balancing, moving with grace, and accepting the attention. Jamie, the shy boy, felt smaller, weaker, and increasingly distant. Next, Mrs. Carter introduced a series of exercises designed to push me further into submission. They included maintaining delicate poses while balancing objects, responding to compliments, and performing small flirtatious gestures directed at Blake. Every motion, every glance, every word was a test of control and a reinforcement of the feminine persona she was shaping. By the end of the session, I was trembling, flushed, and emotionally exhausted. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, her hand brushing lightly against my arm. "Do you understand now?" she asked softly. "Every flutter, every blush, every heartbeat belongs to her. And Jamie is fading. Completely." I looked into the mirror, tears welling in my eyes. The reflection staring back at me was delicate, feminine, beautiful, and trembling. Jamie felt like a ghost, fading further with every compliment, every glance, every fluttering heartbeat. The following week, Mrs. Carter had arranged something monumental, the regional cheerleading showcase. It was the largest event I had ever participated in, and the audience was packed with students, parents, and faculty from multiple schools. The entire performance was under her strict supervision, a public test of control, poise, and the feminine persona she had carefully cultivated. My outfit was flawless, a sparkling uniform that hugged every curve, high heels designed for maximum elegance, and soft curls bouncing perfectly with every movement. Mrs. Carter had spent hours perfecting my makeup, emphasizing delicate features, rosy cheeks, and soft lips. Each detail reminded me that Jamie was fading and that the girl in the mirror, my new self, was on full display for everyone. As we arrived backstage, the noise of the crowd reverberated through the gym. I felt a flutter of fear and excitement. Every whisper, every cheer, every glance in the crowd made my chest tighten and cheeks burn. Blake was in the audience, eyes focused intently on me, admiration clear on his face. My heart raced. Every glance from him reminded me that Jamie was becoming smaller, dimmer, fading further with each heartbeat. Mrs. Carter leaned close. "Remember, Alex," she whispered, voice soft but commanding, "every eye in that crowd is yours to command. Every flutter, every blush, every movement reinforces her control. And remember, Jamie is fading completely." The performance began. Every jump, every twirl, every sway of my skirt was scrutinized by the audience, amplified by the dazzling lights. My heels clicked with delicate precision, my arms moved gracefully, and my voice carried every cheer with melodic finesse. By the third routine, the crowd was on its feet, applauding, cheering, and whistling. My cheeks flushed crimson with embarrassment and thrill. Each compliment, each whistle, each glance amplified the fading of Jamie, making her presence almost non-existent in my mind. During a brief break, a group of students approached, whispering and pointing. Alex, she's incredible, one of them murmured. I've never seen anyone move like that. So pretty, so feminine. My chest tightened. The words were intoxicating, humiliating, and thrilling all at once. Jamie inside me wanted to protest, to reclaim some shred of identity, but the girl in the mirror responded instinctively, smiling softly, nodding gracefully, moving with poise and confidence. Mrs. Carter's hand rested lightly on my back as she guided me through the next routine. See how they react, she whispered. Every heartbeat, every blush, every whisper, she owns it. And you are powerless. Jamie is gone, Alex.
Completely.
And the world knows it now. After the performance, Blake approached again, lingering close. You were amazing, he said softly. I've never seen anyone move like that, so graceful, so beautiful. I flushed violently, voice trembling. Thank you. Every compliment, every glance, every lingering stare reinforced her, the girl in the mirror, making Jamie feel like a fading echo, weaker and more distant with every heartbeat. That night, alone in my room, I stared at the mirror. The reflection was undeniable, delicate, feminine, beautiful, and trembling. Jamie was no longer visible. Only her remained, fully formed, powerful, and observed by the world. The days after the showcase were a blur of attention, admiration, and subtle torment. Every glance in the hallways, every whisper behind my back, every smile from Blake reminded me that Jamie was no longer in control. She was fading fast, replaced entirely by the delicate, feminine figure I now embodied. Mrs. Carter had arranged a private bonding session after school. The gym was empty, the lights dimmed just enough to make the room feel intimate. She guided me to a soft chair, heels clicking against the polished floor. My heart hammered as I realized this was not just training, it was control, psychological dominance, and emotional manipulation all at once. Alex, she began, voice low and hypnotic, you've done so well. She, the girl in the mirror, is everything. But now, it's time to see how far she can go. To see if you truly belong to her. Before I could respond, Blake appeared. He had a soft smile on his face, eyes lingering on me with admiration, and something more. Something intoxicating. Every beat of my heart, every tremor of my fingers, every flush of my cheeks reminded me that Jamie was gone, replaced by her. Hey, Blake whispered softly. I wanted to see you after the showcase. You were incredible. So graceful, so beautiful. My chest tightened violently. The thrill, the embarrassment, the humiliation, they all collided. Jamie wanted to protest, to reclaim himself, but the girl in the mirror responded instinctively, leaning slightly into Blake's gaze, smiling softly, heart fluttering uncontrollably. Mrs. Carter stepped closer, her voice a whisper. Notice him. Notice how he reacts to her. Every heartbeat, every flutter, reinforces her control. And Jamie fades further.
Can you feel it?
I shivered. Yes, I felt it. Every glance, every word, every subtle touch from Blake made Jamie smaller, weaker, fading into the shadows. The girl in the mirror moved closer, hesitated, and finally allowed herself to enjoy the attention, the admiration, the subtle thrill. Blake reached out, brushing a curl from my face, and I gasped. The sensation was electric, humiliating, and strangely intoxicating. Mrs. Carter's smile was faint but sharp, predatory. Do you understand now? She whispered. Every heartbeat, every blush, every whisper belongs to her. Jamie is gone.
Completely.
And the world notices it. The emotional breaking point came when Blake leaned closer, his voice soft and trembling slightly. I really like you. You're amazing. My knees weakened. My chest felt tight. My lips trembled. Jamie wanted to scream, to pull away, to reclaim some shred of identity. But the girl in the mirror smiled, leaned slightly into him, and whispered softly, Thank you. Tears welled in my eyes. Shame, humiliation, thrill, and something dangerously close to desire mingled into a dizzying storm. Jamie had disappeared. Only her remained. Strong, delicate, feminine, and fully under Mrs. Carter's control. The weeks following the bonding session with Blake blurred together, each day a delicate balancing act between control, exposure, and surrender. Every glance in the hallways, every whisper, every compliment cemented the fading of Jamie. The boy I once was seemed like a distant echo, replaced entirely by her, delicate, feminine, and undeniably alive in the world. Mrs. Carter continued to guide me, her voice soft yet commanding. Notice everything, Alex. Every heartbeat, every glance, every flutter, she owns it all. And Jamie is gone. Completely. One evening, alone in my room, I stared at the mirror. The reflection staring back was unmistakably her. Soft curls framed flushed cheeks, wide expressive eyes, and delicate lips that trembled slightly as I whispered her name. I had grown to enjoy the attention, the admiration, the subtle thrill of being called pretty or beautiful. But beneath it, a tiny flicker of Jamie lingered, a shadow of the boy I had been, whispering questions I could barely hear. The moment of ultimate choice came unexpectedly. Blake had arranged to meet me at the local park, under the soft golden glow of the evening sun. My heart pounded as I approached, heels clicking lightly on the pavement. Every step reminded me that I had lost pieces of Jamie along the way, but the thrill of attention, the softness of the skirt, and the delicate sway of my hair reinforced her presence. Alex Shiu, Blake hesitated, then smiled warmly. I like her. I like you, as her. And I want to be with her. The words hit me like a wave. The boy inside me, Jamie, wanted to resist, to reclaim something, anything. But the girl in the mirror smiled softly, heart fluttering uncontrollably. Every glance, every compliment, every brush of his hand made Jamie smaller, weaker, fading further. Mrs. Carter appeared from the shadows, clipboard in hand, eyes gleaming with satisfaction. Do you understand now? She whispered. Every heartbeat, every blush belongs to her. And Jamie is gone.
Completely.
This is the final test. Tears welled in my eyes. Shame, thrill, fear, and desire mingled into a dizzying storm. But as Blake held my hand gently, whispering soft compliments, I realized something profound. I was no longer Jamie. The boy I had been had disappeared, replaced fully by her, delicate, feminine, admired, and alive in the world. I let out a trembling breath, voice soft, melodic, and undeniably feminine. I think I'm ready. I accept her. The sense of relief was overwhelming. Jamie was gone, but in her place, I had become someone new, someone admired, someone powerful in her own delicate way. The world had accepted her, Blake adored her, and Mrs. Carter's guidance had completed the transformation. As I walked through the park, hand in hand with Blake, heels clicking gracefully on the pavement, I glanced at my reflection in a nearby puddle. The girl staring back smiled softly, flushed and alive. Jamie's shadow was gone, replaced entirely by her. Weeks later, life had settled into a new rhythm. I was fully accepted as her, delicate, admired, and completely feminine. Blake and I were together. The world saw me as her, and Mrs. Carter continued to guide subtly, ensuring the delicate balance of power and admiration remained intact. Though Jamie was gone, I felt a strange sense of peace. The boy I had been had disappeared, but in his place was someone who could embrace the attention, the admiration, and the thrill of being completely herself. The reflection in the mirror no longer caused conflict. It was soft, delicate, and alive. I whispered a final word to the girl staring back.
She is me now.
And I finally accepted. The months that followed were a whirlwind of attention, admiration, and subtle, intoxicating control. Every morning, I practiced walking, speaking, and moving with the poise and grace Mrs. Carter had meticulously trained me to embody. Every glance in public, every compliment from strangers, every smile from Blake reinforced the transformation I had accepted, fully and irrevocably. Today, I stood outside a boutique, window shopping in my carefully chosen outfit, a pastel sundress, delicate flats, and soft curls bouncing lightly with every step. I adjusted my skirt nervously, feeling the familiar thrill of being observed. A group of classmates passed by and whispers followed. "That's Alex, or her now, wow. She's gorgeous." I felt a flutter of excitement, a blush rising to my cheeks. Jamie, the boy I had been, was nothing more than a memory. The girl in the mirror was alive, delicate, confident, and thriving in the world. Blake approached, holding 2 ice cream cones. "You're glowing," he said softly, eyes lingering on my face. "Everyone notices her, and I adore her." My chest tightened. The thrill, the embarrassment, the desire, it was all still there, sharper than ever. Thank you," I whispered, voice soft, melodic, undeniably feminine. Mrs. Carter's voice echoed in my mind, though she wasn't physically present. "Notice the world, Alex. Notice every heartbeat, every glance, every reaction. She is powerful. Jamie is gone. Completely. And the world admires her." The day continued with small but meaningful moments. At the cafe, the barista complimented my hair. At the bookstore, someone smiled warmly at my outfit. Each interaction reinforced the girl in the mirror, cementing the fading of Jamie. Later, Blake took my hand, fingers intertwining delicately with mine. "I love her," he whispered. "And I love you." I paused, heart fluttering, and glanced into a reflective window. The girl staring back smiled softly, eyes wide and flushed. Jamie's shadow had vanished completely. She, the feminine, delicate, admired, and confident self, was all that remained. "I'll love her too," I whispered back, feeling a strange sense of peace, thrill, and satisfaction all at once. Life had transformed into a delicate balance of admiration, control, and affection. Jamie, the boy I had been, was gone, but in his place was someone alive, confident, and fully embraced by the world. Blake adored her, Mrs. Carter guided her subtly, and the public admired her effortlessly. I had accepted the transformation entirely, reveling in the delicate power of being her. Every glance, every blush, every compliment was now part of a life that was fully hers. As I walked through the city streets, heels clicking, skirt swaying, and curls bouncing, I whispered softly to the reflection in a store window. "She is me, and I'll finally belong." It was the day of the school's annual spring festival, a massive event filled with performances, games, and hundreds of students and families. Mrs. Carter had decided that this was the ultimate opportunity to cement my transformation in public. The outfit she chose was exquisite, a flowing dress that shimmered under the sunlight, soft heels that emphasized every step, and perfectly styled curls that framed my flushed, delicate face. As we arrived, the crowd's eyes immediately fell on me. Whispers spread quickly. "Wow, is that Alex? She's gorgeous. Look at how graceful she is." My chest tightened, and my heels clicked against the cobblestones. Every glance, every whisper, every point felt like a physical force pressing me further into her identity. Jamie, the boy I had been, was now an echo, a shadow fading with every heartbeat. Mrs. Carter leaned close, voice low and commanding. "Notice them, Alex. Every heartbeat, every blush, every glance belongs to her. And Jamie is gone.
Completely.
Remember, this is the final test." The festival required me to participate in a series of challenges, walking across a stage for a small pageant, performing a short dance routine, and greeting local dignitaries. Each step, each movement, each interaction was observed, recorded, and admired. My heart pounded, but the thrill, humiliation, and subtle excitement pushed me further into her persona. Blake was in the front row, eyes locked on mine, admiration, and something more, clearly visible. Every glance from him, every soft smile, every gentle nod made Jamie feel smaller, weaker, fading entirely. The girl in the mirror responded instinctively, smiling softly, bowing delicately, moving gracefully across the stage. During the dance, a group of students from my past school recognized me. Whispers escalated. Alex, is that really her? Wow, she's incredible. My cheeks burned crimson. The thrill of recognition, humiliation, and admiration collided violently. Jamie's protest was silent. He had no voice left, but the girl in the mirror twirled, laughed softly, and embraced the attention. She was alive, confident, delicate, and fully formed. At the final ceremony, Mrs. Carter presented me to the crowd, a proud smile on her face. "She has done wonderfully," she said. "Every step, every glance, every blush demonstrates how far she has come. And remember, she belongs to herself now." Blake approached, taking my hand, fingers intertwining delicately with mine. "I love her," he whispered. "And I'll love you." Tears welled in my eyes. Shame, thrill, desire, and deep satisfaction mingled into a dizzying storm. Jamie was gone.
Completely.
Only her remained. As I walked through the festival, hand in hand with Blake, the crowd cheering, whispers of admiration following us, I caught my reflection in a nearby window. The girl staring back was delicate, feminine, confident, and alive. I smiled softly, whispering,
"She is me."
"Jamie is gone. And Io finally belong." The weeks after the spring festival had only strengthened the public recognition of her, the delicate, feminine persona Alex had fully become. Today, Mrs. Carter had a new plan, a live school broadcast highlighting the cheerleading team. The opportunity would cement her identity not just in small circles, but in front of the entire student body. The outfit she chose was elegant yet commanding, a shimmering uniform tailored perfectly to her figure, soft heels emphasizing every delicate step, and curls bouncing with each movement. Her reflection in the mirror confirmed the transformation, soft, feminine, and undeniably beautiful. Jamie was gone. Only her remained. Backstage, the noise of cameras and the bustling crew created a mixture of excitement and anxiety. Mrs. Carter's voice was firm yet gentle. "Remember, every glance, every smile, every flutter belongs to her. Jamie has disappeared. This is the final stage, publicly, irreversibly." Blake appeared beside her, eyes wide with admiration. "You look incredible," he whispered, his voice trembling slightly. Every word and glance made the fading of Jamie undeniable. She felt a strange thrill, mixed with embarrassment, at the intensity of his gaze. The live broadcast began. Every cheer, twirl, and pose was amplified for the cameras, each movement scrutinized by hundreds of viewers. Whispers of admiration swept through the crowd. Some students from her past recognized her immediately, their gasps and whispers filling the auditorium. "Wow, she's amazing," one student murmured. "Alex, or her now so graceful." Her heart raced. The thrill of public attention, the embarrassment of recognition, and the deep satisfaction of performing flawlessly collided violently. Jamie's voice was gone entirely. She responded instinctively, smiling, twirling, and moving with poise. Every fluttering heartbeat reminded her of how fully she had become her. After the performance, Blake approached again, holding her hand delicately. "I love her," he whispered, eyes locking with hers. "And I'll love you." Tears welled up as shame, thrill, and deep satisfaction mingled. She whispered back softly, "I'll love her too." Mrs. Carter stepped forward, a faint but satisfied smile on her face. "See how the world reacts," she said softly. "Every glance, every whisper, every flutter, she owns it all. And Jamie is gone. Completely." Later that evening, alone in her room, she stared at the mirror. The reflection was soft, delicate, and alive. Flushed cheeks, bright eyes, and the subtle thrill of admiration shining through. She whispered,
"She is me."
"Jamie is gone. And I belong fully to her."